Hello and welcome to another Paint the Moon Vaporizer review. Today we're going to be checking out the Volcano, a classic, basically the best of the best vaporizer you can get on the market. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so when you get your Volcano, basically here's what it comes with. There's two kit options you can get. You can either get the Easy Valve kit, which uses these little valves. It comes with 6 of them, and it comes with a chamber, which comes apart like so. 2 pieces, fully disassembles. We'll get into that in a bit. It also comes with some extra screens for inside chamber, a cleaning brush, and that's basically it. It also comes with concentrate pads, which are really nice. Using concentrates in the Volcano is an awesome experience, highly recommended. We will also get into that later. So now that we've gone over kind of everything you get with it, let's get into just how the unit works. So to heat it up, there's a dial here on the front. It lets you kind of select what you want your temperature to be. They have their exact temperatures on the website. I don't have them off the top of my head. I find that around 6 to like 7.5 on the number dial is usually what I go for. If you have the digital, you can obviously dial in the exact temperature, but this is just the standard version. So to turn it on, there's a little switch right here. You select your temperature, just flip that little switch, and then this light will light up, and over time it will just kind of gradually heat up. It's pretty quick, so we're gonna just show the heat up on here right now. Let me just talk a little bit more about the unit. The capacity is really good. The chamber, as you can see, is fairly large. It's about 1/4 of an inch deep or so, probably about in like 1.5 inches or so wide. It holds a good bit. You can fit about like 0.4-ish in this chamber loosely. You don't want to tightly pack it because it's a convection vaporizer, so you want the air to flow through your material. Speaking of material, I'm going to need to load this up real quick, so when this is heated, we'll be able to go. So we're going to have a little cut. We'll be right back. Alrighty, and we're back. Unit's still heating up. It's been about 2 minutes or so right now. I just wanted to load up my chamber a little bit. This is usually how much I do for a personal amount. Just enough to kind of coat the bottom screen so you can't really see it. Just take the cap here, put it on top, screws into place, just a slight little turn, stable, not going anywhere. So yeah, let's get into, while this is still heating, it's taking forever. What we're going to talk about is maintenance. So this unit doesn't require a ton of maintenance. The main thing you do need to clean is this, which fully comes apart, which I will show you right now. So what you do, this part, is you just take it, press it in, pops right out. You got your screen in there that you can press out for cleaning. You have a little O-ring on the top there. It just sits on the top like that when it's inside this part. And as for the bottom, since I have my material, I'm not going to pop it out. But you actually take it apart in pretty much the exact same way. You just press it out and it pops right out. Cleaning is really easy. Takes about just like a couple minutes or so and you're done. It's really quick. Let's put this back together. We just finished heating up. So what we're going to do now, it's on 6. We're going to pop on our little chamber. And then this button on this side, this green one, is for your air. So you hear the air pump going. It's good to preheat slightly before you pop it on, at least for the first one. You just pop the bag on top and you let it fill. It takes a little while, but it's not too bad. I'll speak about the quality of the bags when it's done filling. Yep, still filling up. Some nice vapors up in here. Should be good. Alright, so once it gets full, you just turn this switch off, pop your bag off. It has, if you have the Easy Valve, it has a seal right in here. I believe I started talking about the different bags you could get at the beginning, but I didn't finish. There's also a solid valve option, which is essentially replaces this with just a piece that's just essentially an open little tube with like a little mouth thing. and that just pops onto here, and you actually replace these bags yourself. So you'll buy these bags, you'll tie an end, and then you'll attach the end to the solid valve. With the easy valve, the bags just come like this, and once they wear out, you just throw them away. Let's take our first pull. And you can see like decent bit of vapor. I'm not sure how much vapor you guys can actually see on camera, so I may actually readjust my setup for the next bag. Obviously, as the first bags didn't have lighter vapor. You can see the bags are of decent size. I'd say one individual only needs really 2 or so bags to get where they need to go. As far as medical users, that might vary, but when it comes to group use, this is really good up until you hit about 6 people. Once you hit that 6-person mark, the bag gets finished before it goes all the way around. So that's something you gotta consider too. But filling up a bag is like a 30-second process. So. Alright, our bag is done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the temp up just a little bit, up to about 6.5. And I'm going to readjust the setup so you guys can see the vapor better. Alright guys, so this is kind of our rearranged setup so you guys can kind of see the vapor production a little bit better. Go for bag number 2. I don't really have anything to say but praise for the Volcano, if I'm being completely honest. I currently, to this day, have not seen a vaporizer that's as efficient as the Volcano, or a vaporizer that works just as well. It really extracts only what you need and none of what you don't. You'll see the vape material afterwards, but you'll see it's very lightly vaporized, even if you completely vaporize it to the fullest extent. So currently we're on 6.5 as our temperature level. Show this vapor. Not sure how much vapor we're actually able to show here. Also, I'm clearly rocking the Vape Critic look, so I don't really know, I can't see how much vapor I'm producing. I see that I'm producing some, but I don't know how much you guys can see is what I'm trying to say. Oh, I'm actually going to turn the temp up a little bit more to about 7. Also, something I'd never really seen anybody mention in the reviews that I've seen of the Volcano, it actually states right on the back of the unit, not to, I don't know if you guys can even read this, it's plugged in so it's about as far as I can come, but it states on the back that you're not supposed to leave this chamber on top of this unit unless you're using it for like any reason. I've never heard anyone mention that, I've never really seen that anywhere, so I want to get a little PSA out there. This should not just stay on here like 24/7 or whatever, or you shouldn't just take it off to load it and then pop it back on and leave it on there. From what I understand, I believe it's supposed to be taken off after every single hit. I'm not 100% on that. I've tried both methods. It doesn't vape any differently. So I'm assuming there's actually no real difference between the two. I think it's just better for the plastic that this is made of to not be exposed to high heat for really long amounts of time. On to level 7. And you will see over time the durability of these bags wears down pretty quickly, at least with the easy valve. I find at least every 2 weeks I'm replacing a bag, so that's something you really need to consider when choosing between the easy and the solid valve kits. I personally think the solid valve is a better investment. It's going to cost you less over time. Granted, the bags aren't overly expensive just to buy a bag for the Volcano. I think it's about $6 or so at my local shop for one of these bags. So that's something you gotta think about too. Because the price may not be much, but over time that price does build. If every 2 weeks you're spending $6, that's like 300 something a year on bags or something like that. It's like 200 something. Much more vapor. But still, you gotta consider that price factor if you get the solid valve, the bags themselves, you can buy turkey bags from like a supermarket or something. Like the plastic turkey oven bags, and you can actually use those as these bags, and you can get like a bunch of those for an incredibly low cost, and the bags seem, in my opinion, to last longer with the solid valve than the easy valve. Something else that kind of sucks about the easy valve is the bags tend to start leaking around here, and there's nothing you can do about that. Also, I haven't mentioned, and we haven't talked about vapor quality yet. As to be expected, the vapor quality from the Volcano is fantastic. Unparalleled in the vape industry. You really can't get anything better. Including with concentrates, I would say. With concentrates, it doesn't perform quite as well as with dry herb. I found the concentrates tend to be, well, you get a lot of flavor, very little vapor, and it takes many, many, many bags just to get through even a small amount of concentrate. So in my opinion, it's not really worth it if you have really any other method for concentrates. Which, in my opinion, like desktop vaporizers, at least ones that are originally made for dry herb, tend to not do as well with concentrates. They just can't really get quite hot enough. Like I think the Vape Exhale Cloud Evo does concentrates too, but it doesn't get hot enough to actually fully vaporize them. And that causes like a lot of buildup on their nails, which led to mine breaking. So the Volcano does a decent job. It's just I personally think there are better methods of consuming your concentrates than through the Volcano. You can do it, but there are better options out there. So, getting pretty well vaped. You can check that out. Nice light browning on there. Still a little bit of green. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go big or go home. Bump her up to just a little over 8. We're gonna, afterwards, check out our vaped material, see what it looks like. You guys are gonna be surprised. I was really surprised when I first got this, when I saw just how much it really vaporizes. And also, we're going to talk a little bit more about cleaning and like what can happen just by having the Volcano. Like stuff falls out of the chamber, falls in it, like what should you do? The filter on the bottom, like how to replace that. Just kind of general maintenance stuff. But yeah, so now we're ready to heat up, pop on our chamber, activate the fan, and pop on our bag. So usually if I really want to just finish a bowl off, I will tend to turn it out to about 8.5 or so, and just do one final bag. Usually the bag is pretty much devoid of vapor at this point, but you still get like a little bit, and it just really finishes the bowl off pretty well. All right. As you can see, not getting that much. Well, considering it was the end to a fairly minimal size bowl, not bad. So, we're going to turn the unit off. Now it's just cooling down. So we're going to talk about some issues that I've had with the Volcano. Let's shoot back to the middle here. So, issues with the Volcano that I've had from the past, kind of that I've dealt with. This bag is just crinkling and bothering me. I'm going to move it away. So, some issues that I've had with it are normally from material somehow or another falling out of here and getting inside this inner ring here. You see that little black ring? That's where the chamber sits on, and the air comes through the center of that. And the outsides of it are just kind of open, and they just go into the unit right along the edges. It's like there's like little cutouts for, I'm assuming, filtering of something. Wow, okay. So there's little cutouts in here, and I'm thinking that's just to keep the inside of the unit, the electronic components and stuff from getting too hot because the chamber's getting so hot. But I'm not sure on that one. But this just sits on this little black ring. And essentially, when I go to take this chamber off sometimes, it'll catch a little bit and just twist open. And then in doing so, like some material will spill out and get like onto this inner screen, or I guess outer screen, this little ring on the outside here. And then it'll go inside the unit. And it's just gone. And it's pretty common. I talked to stores in Bickle and they're like, that's a pretty normal thing that happens. Like, just try to not do it very often, try to prevent it as much as possible, because obviously you don't want a bunch of plant material inside your unit. But it's pretty minimal. It's not going to like affect anything all that much, as long as you're not just like dumping all of your vape material in there, in which case like you probably didn't really care in the first place. As far as the air filter, this comes with a filter installed already. It's in the base here. Just a small little, almost lost it. It's a small, just foam filter. And that just pops back in. It comes with an extra when this one goes bad, I guess, assuming it goes bad. I haven't had any need to replace it. I'm assuming it doesn't need to be replaced all that often. Once it gets dirty, like I'd say check it every couple months. If it's dirty, switch it. It's that easy. That's pretty much it for maintenance besides cleaning this guy up. Let's take a look at our material. As you can see, it's a very, very light golden brown. Not a whole lot of typical like dark brown you see in most vaporizers. And that's just a testament to how efficient the Volcano is. It's efficient enough that it only gets out the like active ingredients that you want out of your material, and the rest of it just stays essentially in its almost natural form, just more dried. When material is more brown or darker colored, it tends to have given off something else besides just the active ingredients inside the plant material. It's essentially just releasing things besides the active ingredients, like just other plant matter and things like that, which makes it harsher, makes you cough, it deposits that in your lungs. It's not things you really want. So it makes it almost a healthier way than traditional vaping, which is much healthier than traditional smoking. So there's just a lot of, it's just better. It's just better. That's all I can really say about it. It's just the best vaporizer I think I've ever used. I can't recommend it enough. Well, this has been another Paint the Moon Vaporizer review. As always, we're on Twitter and Facebook, as well as we're on Reddit FC under the username Paint the Moon. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.